Hi, I'm Ian and I make stuff. And if you've seen any of my other videos where I make stuff, you'll notice that I'm not at my usual workshop. Usually I'm over at Pickering Woodworks, but because of the pandemic, we're trying to keep the number of people over there to a minimum. So once in a while I'll be coming back here to my home office, which is not actually a whole lot bigger than the frame you see here. Now, we're going to go get back to work on our Lorica Segmentata that I started back at the workshop. You saw me make the ribs that I've been putting on the bottom there. In order to make it the proper size, I've had to make a few more, and I've had to make some special ones for under the arm here. I won't bore you with the entire process because you've already seen me make basically the whole thing. The only thing that's interesting about this right now is this little cutout here that's going to fit under the arms. The only interesting about that is that's actually not centered on the center line that we have here. Because if you look at people's shoulders, we're not actually perfectly set up so that the center of your arm here is in line with the center of your body, especially not me, because I've broken my collarbones a couple of times, so I end up with this kind of permanent slouch forward. So in this, the little cutout here is a little bit forward on the arms. One of the things I would have really liked to have from the shop would have been my belt sander, and I've gone back a couple of times, and did I bring it back with me? I have not, because I'm not a smart guy like that. So instead, I spent the last several hours outside with these cut pieces, some sandpaper, and a file. Now all that sanding and filing is done, and my hands are warm, and my joints seem to work again, we are going to get back to doing the thermal forming on all that plastic. Now, one of the things about this plastic is that it off-gasses some pretty bad fumes. So what I normally do is, in addition to wearing my respirator, which you should usually wear anyway, with a good filter that takes out particles and fumes, you should always have some good ventilation. Back in the shop, that's a little bit easier because it's much bigger space. We have air filters, we have windows. But in my little office here, all I got is that respirator and a window. So there might be some noise. I might cut that out with some music, or I might just cut it out entirely. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, we're going to get the heat gun out. We're also going to get our weird mailbox, burn box looking thing, and we're going to get back to heat forming. Okay, so I've heat formed everything now, and we're going to take out the original three rib pieces that I've made before. I'm going to take the bottom two, make them a little smaller because I think the next time I do this, because there's such an overlap, I'm not sure if you can see that there, there's like an 1.5 inch overlap there, but on the front it only shows that much. I'm pretty sure I can get away with using smaller pieces to achieve the exact same thing next time, but either way, it should look good from the outside. So we're going to go ahead now. I'm just going to mock it up with some tape. And we're just going to lay it all out, make sure everything fits up really nice on Bill over here, and see how far we have left to go. These strips of tape are going to be pretty analogous to how the straps are on the inside. I'm going to visit Dark Age Creations in a couple of weeks to take a look at the Lorica Segmentata they have there, so I have a better idea of how things are actually laced together and strapped. Hopefully nothing I discover there is going to get in the way of what I've already done, or anything that I've already done get in the way of things that I need to do once I've learned it from them. So, in the meantime, this tape is going to have to do. Now let's tape it up onto Bill over here with the rest of the armor, and we will see how everything fits up. Okay, so I've gone ahead and taped the two halves together like a clamshell. And we'll see how this goes on Bill here. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but it looks like I'm probably going to end up having to trim some of these in the back here so that they line up a little better. You can see here there's you don't quite meet up quite right there. They make that V, so I'm probably going to have to end up having to trim up this. For now, all right. Well, that's not looking too bad. Besides that big gap in the middle there, I'll probably trim out all that, like I said, make it a little tighter in there. The next step is going to be the pauldron, because that's the part that goes over the shoulder. I've already cut and formed all the plates for that one, so we'll see that in a little bit. Yeah, that's not going to look bad at all. A couple of those on there on both sides there, and a couple more on the side for the top of the arm. That's going to look pretty all right. Now, one thing you might have noticed about Bill here is that he's in pretty good shape. I got Bill from a sports supply store, which was getting rid of all of them. And I don't know about you. Maybe you are. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're a lot more like me, who isn't built like a teenage track star. So what I'm going to have to do in the next couple of days is pad out Bill so that he's a little bit more. I meant he needs to be fatter. He's going to be a fat like me. He's going to be a fat. Anyway, maybe that'll be the next thing we do. Maybe you'll see you there. Maybe come watch my videos. I require the validation.